Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Nacho Tuesday. And today I have Mohammed here with Purelogics. And without further ado, we would love if you could introduce your company and what you guys do over there.
Hi, my name is Mohammed Atif, and I'm one of the founder and CTO at Purelogics. So we are here based in New York City. So we are full stack product development company. We started this company about 20 years ago, and idea behind that was that the like entrepreneurs are the people who are looking for right engineering partner, helping them to engineer their products and to go to the market. We are ISO 9001 2015 certified. We are CMM level 2 appraised. We have been working in all the latest tech stack like Python, Java, .NET, and we are also doing a lot of work in artificial intelligence, machine learning, data, and security. And if I talk about industry, we are doing a lot of work in healthcare, tech, fintech, and a bit of work in the year-end fashion industry as well. And if I give you high-level numbers, we are a team of 400 plus engineers. We have delivered 1,500 plus projects in past 2 decades, and we have around 1,200 plus customers across the globe, and the headquarters based in New York City. So that's a summarized background who we are and what we do.
Great. So you guys do a lot of also like complex projects too, like a lot of work with artificial intelligence tools, and you could do all various types of apps, of course. But you guys are also known for doing some, really heavy hitting stuff, right?
Yes, so we mostly work with startups as well, and startups are always behind trying to solve a complex problem or real-time market problem. So there are opportunities where we had a chance to work on complex algorithms, especially in the health sciences, where we have been working with like diagnostics and some of the kind of predictions, which is related to the human life as well. So that was kind of very interesting and complex at the same time.
Very nice. And tell us more about your background. How did you get to where you're at today?
Yeah, so I have a major in computer sciences. I started my career back in 2005 as a software engineer, and uh, we were working as a engineer or software developer. So I have like one of my senior colleague who was my senior at college as well. So we had a discussion that we should start our own venture because we see the problem that a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of founders, they are struggling to find the right engineering partner. So this is how we started. We started with 3 people. I know that the first days or the initial days, we were sitting all 3 together, working on holidays and everything, just to land our like first customer. But here we are now. We are like now a global company. We have offices across globe in San Francisco, in New York City. We have offices in UAE and East Asia as well.
Yeah, you guys have come a long way. Now you guys have an office down in Midtown Manhattan here.
Yeah, we are right next to Bryant Park at 6th Avenue. It's very like a cozy place and a lot of like vibrant activities happening around, and it's great to be here. You can
And
see the skyline right behind me.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, central location. Yeah, you guys are true to the word still. I was on a call with Amir, I think last night, pretty late. I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning his time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you guys are still like real entrepreneurs at heart.
Yep. So Ahmed is like mostly working from like he's traveling a lot as well. So yeah, I really admire his energy to be like waking up till 1 a.m. in the night and taking the calls and making sure he's hitting the ground.
Yep. Somebody's got to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because you guys have your team split kind of between Pakistan, or is it Pakistan, or is it where's it at?
Yep, it's in Lahore, Pakistan,
Lahore.
and
That's what I thought. Okay.
yeah, and then we have team here in the New York City. Then we have like people in San Francisco on West Coast side as well.
And you guys are
Uh,
international.
yeah, and we have office in London as well. So we have people working from our London office as well. So that's why I say it's a global company.
Yeah, you guys really cover every time zone that way.
Yeah.
Very nice. So yeah, today we're here to talk about, since you have a lot of experience with building products, the concept of an MVP and why it's so important for startups to get right. Can you maybe explain the concept of an MVP and what that process looks like?
Yeah, so MVP is about building a sleek or minimum viable product. And I believe that it should be mainly focused on the core problem, the problem that we are trying to solve. and we should keep it sleek as much as possible. A- a- and and we should go to the market quickly, try to take the feedback from the real customer, and we should have short feedback loops for continuous refinement. Uh, Going with the MVP also reducing the risk, time, and maybe like over building the features which customer may not need. So the idea behind MVP is to validate the market needs, customer feedback before you invest too much time. Uh, I remember that back in 2010, I was working with the edtech startup. Uh, they were focused on solving the market problem where the college student and high school students they struggle with the like complex subjects like mathematics or algorithms, and they need to have a sport. So what we did that with that startup, we built a minimum viable product, just like a Facebook forum. In those days, Facebook apps were very popular. So we built a simple forum where the students can exchange their ideas, and we invited the teachers as well. They can help the teacher, and we see that there is a lot of like real demand for that particular application. So based on that group or based on that forum, we then build the complete ecosystem. We build the web applications, we build the mobile applications around that, and that application won different awards as well. One of the award it won at that time was Obama Entrepreneur Award under 30. Yeah, so the point is that you should go try very minimum feature with the core problem it is solving. If you have a repeating customer, if you see that customers are coming back and they are using your product, then you should try to build on top of that.
Yeah. So obviously, the biggest reason that a lot of people mess up on their MVP is that they do too much rather than too little.
Yeah, I think they don't take real customers' feedback. What are they looking for? They try to bloat their product with a lot of features. They try to over-engineer that, and they end up like wasting a lot of time, energy, and money on that part.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times they have a concept in their mind of what they think people should want rather than actually communicating with their customers and understanding what their customers' perception of that product and whether it serves any value to them is.
Yep. And that's why like MVP focuses on like short iterations, keep pushing, keep taking the feedback, and then keep modifying your product according to the market demands. And but
So
at the
maybe,
same time, when you go to the market, you shouldn't say yes to every customer demand. You need to make
yeah.
sure that you are focused on your like core of your problem or core of your product that you started with.
Yeah, I've seen that happen to a lot of companies too. They can get easily led astray by one customer has like a particular issue and they request a feature that's really only applicable to them. And then you build that feature into your product, but it doesn't really apply to your other customers. So that's why it's really important to get that ICP right from the very beginning and know when to say no, really.
Yeah, Uh, I think you hit the point right that ICP is very important, your ideal customer profile, and also seeing who are your repeating customers, like who are using your product without being pushed a lot, who are complaining a lot, who are recommending it organically, and are they using it for the same core job that we have built this product for, and what is their retention rate, like how often they are coming back. And at the same time, you need to see that are they willing to pay for it, like because you also need to keep an eye on the ROI as well. And then definitely as you scale, as you see the momentum, you keep polishing it and you keep building it.
So I guess what are the key indicators to know when it's time to scale your MVP, like knowing that you hit the nail on the head?
Yeah, so if your customer are using your product uh, and they are repeating customer, they are coming back, they are relying on the product, uh, and when the product is not working or if there is any feature is broken, they start complaining, or if customer is organically recommending it in their network or in their circle that this is the like product that is solving the problem. I think these are the key indicators that can show you that it's time to grow and it's time to scale the product to the next level.
Great. I guess what are some of the product development trends that you're seeing today? Obviously, a lot of those involve artificial intelligence. Which products do you see being really popular to be building this year?
Yeah, so I see a lot of like AI driven, AI is a trendy word as well. A lot of SaaS applications are still uh, like uh, trendy nowadays. Healthcare products, fintech, multi-platform applications, chatbots. which can do a lot of human replacement kind of support. They can do the support for like e-commerce, for healthcare, for front desk. Then different kind of automation utilities there are tools like Zapier and A10 where you can automate different processes end to end and you can reduce the people's involvement as much as possible. Predictive analysis application, personalized experience, these AI tools try to capture as much as like parameters about your particular domain, and then they try to give you a personalized experiences. So these are kind of applications that I see the trend, and beside that, like API integration, cloud and native application development, that has always been trendy as we move on with the add-on of AI.
What kind of LLMs do you guys typically work with, or do you guys build any of your own models?
We mostly go with uh, market standards like LLMs. We try to train them. We try to use their APIs. But like in the because we are in the healthcare domain, sometimes like we do get concern from our customer that if we try to use these pre-built LLMs, the data is leaving the on-prem or the like boundaries that they have defined. They wanted to make sure that their data is not being used for any kind of training or any kind of public analysis or stuff like that. So in those cases, we have deployed on-site or on cloud private LLMs as well, and then we have trained them for that particular use case. But it requires like huge data sets, huge computing power for training and everything. So we are working in both models. Like we are using the pre-built LLMs where possible, and then for specific healthcare customer, we are deploying on-site and training them as well.
Any tips for the initial ICP, and how do you determine your first early users are, so you don't go too broad and you don't go too narrow, of course?
Uh, Early users for your product, like MVP that you are building.
Yep, yeah, for the MVP.
Yeah, so I think the users, I think you first of all need to see who are your core customers who have been using the product from the day one, and are they using for the core problem? Uh, and nowadays, Andy, with the help of AI, there are a lot of in-depth analysis tool which can give you the insights that okay, which pages or which features are being used mostly, and how the end customer is using those. I think those kind of matrices and those kind of segmentation to the end users who are using your product can really help you to shape your product, uh, who you wanted to build for, who are your core group of customers you wanted to focus. And at the same time, you need to see if they are paying, if they are willing to pay for the price, the value that they are getting. So these are, I think, two important matrices that can help you to segmentize and to focus on like uh, the type of user that you wanted to work with.
What about when you're experiencing rapid growth and you want to expand past that initial ICP? I guess what tips do you have for maybe broadening that ICP? How do you go about that, or do you double down on the niche that you originally, the beachhead that you originally established?
Yeah, so I think it's really important uh, to transit from MVP to full scale product. And first of all, you need to see what are the key signals. I think we already talked about that. uh, that you see that your infrastructure cost is increasing, you see a lot of customers are using, you see there are a lot of support tickets that are raising, you see that you are facing like a bottleneck on the manual processes that you are doing. So these are some key indicators that tells you that it's time to grow your MVP to the full scale product. So when you go for scaling from MVP to full scale, there are different areas. Like first of all, the product area. So the product area, if I talk about the MVP was just there to prove that you have solved the problem and it's a market right fit. But when you go to the full scale product, you need to make sure that it delivers the value consistently around the main problem that we were solving. The second thing is engineering. When we are building the MVP, our focus has been that it should be speed first. But when we go to the full scale product, we need to make sure it's reliable, it's scalable, and it doesn't have any downtime and people can rely on this product. Similarly, from the UI UX point of view, when we are focused on the MVP, we just say that okay, the look and feel and the user experience should be good enough. But when we go for a full scale product, we need to make sure that it is intuitive and it's repeatable and it's following the same style guide or rhythm that it look like one product. At the same time, if I talk about operations, when we are on the MVP side, we have most of the operations manual. We use like documents, sheets, and all the stuff that we can, maybe sometime notes or sticky notes, everything. But when you go to the full scale product, you may need to deploy different tools and automation to automate those processes as much as possible. And if I talk about growth side, the sale is very important. When we are on the MVP side, maybe the top leadership or the founders, they need to be part of the sales call. But when you grow to the full scale product, you need to build a sales team who you can train, who can sell your product, your vision, and you can grow rapidly. Similarly, for the support part, when you are on the MVP side, I mean, we can have simple support which can submit a form and you can get email as a founder or leadership and they can solve the problem. But when you go to the full scale product, you need to have a proper ticketing system. You need to define SLA agreement that, okay, if it is an urgent ticket, it must be solved as soon as possible. If it's a high priority, it should be solved within 24 hours, maybe. If it's a medium, it can go to 48 hours. If it's a low priority, it can go to 72 or plus hours. So these are like different areas that we focus on when we decide to move from MVP to the full scale product.
Yep. Is there any scaling traps in there on the technical side? Like, how do you set up your infrastructure for success when you're going from, a few dozen users to a few million?
Yeah, I think one of the main thing that we have figured out that the poor architecture of the application, uh, poor database design, we are not following like the best security practices when designing the MVP or building the MVP, or there are compliances that are required. Like if we work in edtech, uh, you need to have ADA compliance, and if you are working in healthcare, you need to have like HIPAA compliance. If you are building a fintech product, you need to have PCI compliance. And on top of that, you really need to make sure that the MVP that we are building, we are not like accumulating any kind of tech debt because tech debt is a thing that can really hold or stop the progression on the scaling side. So what tech debt is that if it is not being managed properly, there is a stage that comes that you have to rebuild your product from the scratch. So what TechNet says that you need to make sure that you are not using outdated technology to build your product. You are not using any out legacy code that can cause an issue. You are not like building any kind of like a security or any kind of these things that can like create any problem at a later stage. You're not missing any important compliances that can become a major roadblock in the growth. Like if in the healthcare, your application is not following the basics of HIPAA, I mean, no customer or no end user will use it.
I guess so. At what stage would you consider investing more in like performance optimization, testing, quality insurance, as opposed to just shipping fast? It sounds like a little bit after that MVP mode, you're going to find this point to where you really need to start to optimize the performance and really just fine tune the product.
Yeah, so after that, like I mean, you really need to make sure that your product features are working, they are like being properly tested. You need to have a proper release plan. I mean, not every fix. I mean, you can't push every day a new feature or new update or new fix. I mean, frequent pushes can also make the product very unstable and it can also cause problem on the customer and they see every other hour or every like few hours the product is changing. You need to have a controlled release plan. You need to have CI/CD like automation deployment. Like if you are deploying a new feature, there should be a sanity checklist like that we can run. Okay, these all basic features or core features are working. If any of those feature fails, the the new release should roll out back to the plan B, which is like the last stable version. You also need to have like QA automation. Maybe you need to do some like automation that can test your like all the visuals that your application is working fine on different browser, different mobile devices. You need to make sure the code features are not breaking. And on top of that, you can have like basic documentation. You can have code reviews. There are a lot of like tools nowadays, like SonarQube, which can test at how well is this code written, the new feature code is written. If there is any repetition or the code is not up to any standards, it will not release that particular like code or feature to the production. And then between the development and production, we should have staging environment. Staging environment should be the replica of the production environment, and it should have as much as real test data as the production environment had. So we can test those features properly on the staging before we release it to the production. So these are some like best practices that must be adopted as you grow, and to make sure that everything is in control and we're not in like panic situations after releasing or fixing any issues.
Yep. So I guess what business model considerations become more important at scale as well, like your pricing strategy, maybe how you monetize your users, maybe how you segment your customers, like we mentioned before.
Yeah. So I think pricing must reflect the value, right? Early pricing tests like willingness to pay at scale, like pricing must be clear, repeatable, and aligned with the value we are delivering to the end customer, right? The second thing is that monetization should be predictable. Like we should not be offering like heavy discount or like custom pricing to everyone. I mean, it should be a bit like standardized, right? And then the thing that I was talking about, the customer segmentation, that really matters. Not all the customers are equal, so we need to see uh, which which customer are paying, where we are getting most of the profit, who are retaining the longest, who are like uh, not complaining too much or not getting too much sport tickets. So we need to segmentize the customer, and we need to focus on the one that are getting the maximum output, and they are aligned with the core product as well. So these are like uh, things that we need to keep an eye uh, in terms of like pricing and ROI.
Yep. So earlier you mentioned collecting feedback is very important at the MVP stage. What kind of process would you recommend for startups for, collecting and processing this feedback that they're getting from users, so that way they can really isolate what the core issues are or features that are needed for the product to make it better, and maybe identify some of the features that might not necessarily be relevant.
Yep. So I think they now with the use of AI, before the AI era, like we try to use like different in-depth tools on the web and mobile applications that you can integrate their JavaScript embedded code, or sometime they give you an SDK on the mobile side, which can monitor the behavior of the customer, and you can have a look on those matrices. Okay, which features are being utilized, where the customer is spending most of the time. If there is any feature broken, it can pre-alert you before your end customer like give you the feedback. So these were the tools that were used for like collecting the feedback. Now with the AI, I think there are more advanced tools which can give you more personalized, in-depth insight about the end customer, what feature they are using, where they are showing their interest. So those matrices are really important, and they can like build your future roadmap that how you should scale your product to the next feature, right? And then you can run different kind of surveys, you can have different like feedback forms, but at the same time, as I said, you shouldn't say yes to everything. You need to see which features are aligned with your core product roadmap, and which features are like solving the most of the customers segmented problem. It's not like maybe if we try to like cater each and every request, it doesn't just increase the like time of development, energy, and all that stuff. But at the same time, some customer may not feel like you can say comfortable like with those features that they are not relevant to them. So if a customer have like demands like where they wanted to have specific features, we can also introduce like add-ons that they can plug into their product. We can
Yeah.
introduce like custom APIs. Uh, I mean, there are different other ways that, but again, you need to see how important that customer is. What is their like retention rate?
Yep. Yeah. Most importantly, if you add a bunch of features, there's also the fact that it kind of distracts from the positioning of the product to your
Yeah.
core audience. If that product isn't clear in terms of the value proposition, because you start adding in all these other features, it kind of becomes a monstrosity at some point.
Yes.
And then I guess for startups in regulated industries like healthcare, you mentioned you work on a lot of apps for that. How do you manage like getting the compliance, security, and privacy that you need for your customers and building that into the scaling plan while mitigating costs, of course? Obviously, as an MVP or a startup, you have to get to market quickly and some of those some of those compliance processes are really expensive. How do you manage going about that?
Yeah, so I think if I talk about the healthcare, the most important like compliance is HIPAA. And you know, HIPAA comes up with the four different rules. One is the privacy rule, the second is security rule, the third one is enforcement, and the last one is breach notification rule. So HIPAA is all about like electronic patient health information that whatever patient health information we have, we can't keep it without encryption. We need to make sure we are using the proper encryption and the keys that we are using for the encryption, they are also saved in a safe key wallet. They are not exposable. So the end goal is that if at any stage our system gets hacked, no one should be able to decrypt or like to go back to the actual patient health information at any stage. So that is a security rule. Enforcement tool, again, we need to enforce specific like rules that okay, who can access what information they can have. So here at Purelogics, like we have different training programs for our engineers. We train them that how to work on the healthcare applications. I know we started back in 2013 when we built our first healthcare application. We designed a complete training program for that team. They did the training, we took the assessment, and then once they were ready and they were ready to perform, then we engaged them on the healthcare application. So from engineering point of view, utilizing the standard training programs can keep the cost as lean as much possible on the engineering side. Then there are some like compliance requirements on the hosting side, on the cloud side. There are also a lot of tools that you can use instead of doing everything on your own that can reduce your cost. And nowadays, like Amazon and Azure Cloud, they also support a lot of like secure deployment, secure hosting, and the best practices. They also offer like I think complete packages for HIPAA compliant application environments that they can set up. So we can use that. We can go with those instead of doing each and everything our own to keep the cost as minimum as possible. So there are ways to keep the control, keep the cost in control and intact without spending too much. But once you start having live customers as you grow, then you can like tighten up further on these compliances as needed.
Yeah, maybe we could start with a few early customers, but not, maybe not take money from them. Just get some initial product validation and go out and raise money with that. As long as you can show that your product has some sort of traction with your ideal customer profile.
Yeah, I think even for the compliances, we can focus on the core of that. Like, okay, what is the gist of that? Just build that into the engineering part, and then once we start having the customer, as you said, we can like add other requirements for that compliance.
Yep.
But at the like MVP stage, I think building a product with the core into the foundation that it will follow all the future compliance need. I think that should be sufficient for now.
So, what kind of tips do you have for keeping innovation at scale? So, as the company expands and grows and your product gets more complex, how do you maintain a nature of being innovative over at a company and as you're growing, and maybe the founders aren't as involved in the day-to-day operations? What would you recommend for companies to keep that innovation going?
Yeah, so I think first of all, from the engineering point of view, as I mentioned above as well, that we need when we are engineering a product, we need to have basic documentation about architecture. We need to have like uh, most of the MVP development, they follow Agile. Some of them follow Kanban as well. So following the Agile methodology, where uh, the engineering teams really like talk about what they did today, what they are going to work tomorrow, and if they have any question or roadblock block, they can discuss with the product owner or founders. That also keep an eye how the things are moving. And on top of that, like having the code peer reviews, making sure that whatever engineering is coming out, it's like up to the certain standards. Having like QA automation, deployment automation. So these are some steps to keep your product robust on the engineering side. Then on the operation side, like we can use a lot of automation where we can like reduce the people's involvement or human involvement. On the hosting side, we can use the cloud infrastructure. Like cloud infrastructure come up with like elastic growth where you don't need to like upbuild a lot of cost to deploy your application. Let's say if you are thinking your application will have a traffic of like 1,000 or maybe 10,000 people, So instead of buying a huge infrastructure upfront, you can just go with the elastic cloud infrastructure, which can automatically grow when the traffic spikes comes in, and it can shrink back or reduce back to the original state when there is no traffic. So we can use the cloud infrastructure innovation on that side. Then we can use the data-driven insights to decide about the product feature, what to release, what to go. Similarly, on the sales side, we can use a lot of automation. There are tools like Gong and some other tools which give you the insight about your sales call, delivery, questioning, emotions, and how you can do better. And then there are CRMs available, automation tool that can give you the prediction score about your lead and the deal that you are working on. So these are the different areas starting from engineering to operations to deployment, cloud hosting to the sales side where you can use these AI automations and these interactive ways to keep innovating.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me. I did an interview last week with the CEO of a cloud optimization platform. So they use a lot of AI tools as well. It might be good for an intro for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think we do have dedicated DevOps team, and we are AWS Slack tier partner as well. So we have AWS certified engineers, but we are working with Google Cloud as well, Microsoft Cloud as well, and as you know, we mostly work with startups and small and medium businesses, and they wanted to mostly go with the cloud hosting. So if you have anyone in your circle, I would love to talk to them what they are offering, and maybe we can utilize them as well.
Great. And then I guess before we leave today, I'd love to if you could introduce some of the key benefits of working with your company and why people should go to Purelogics and check you guys out today.
Yeah, so why Purelogics? As you know, we are in the industry from past 2 decades, right? And we have been behind some of the smartest startups in past 20 years. We have worked with Y Combinator backed companies. We have worked with Fortune 500 companies. Like we have been working with Intel, Pearson, Live Nation, Samsung. We are one-stop shop for you come to us with an idea. We have a business analyst team, we have a product team who can translate your idea into realistic stories, workflows, prototypes. Then we have state-of-art engineering team who can engineer that product, and then we have DevOps team who can do the hosting and then help you to launch the market. We have a digital marketing team who can give you different strategies how to go to market. And then when it comes to the scaling from MVP to the full scale product, we have great engineers who can work on scalability, reliability. They can do the cost optimization. They can also make sure that you are not building tech debt in your product. And we are a team of 400 plus engineers, and we have delivered 1,500 plus products in past 20 years, and headquartered in New York City. And yeah, so these are some of the benefits working with the Purelogics. And on top of that, we are heavily focused on healthcare. Uh, we last year we have been working with fifth largest PBM company here in the US, and we have developed their end-to-end rebate management system with the AI automation. Uh, Beside that, we have also been working in EdTech, like we are working with state of New Jersey, where we are building school management system for special cares to monitor their behavior and to bring the improvements over the time. Yeah, so these are some things, and on top of that, we are ISO certified, like ISO 9000 2015 certified, which means that we have pretty well-defined processes for project onboarding, execution, closing, and controlling the quality of overall software application. We are also CMM level 2 praised, which is a standard for delivering the quality software applications. So these are some items that distinguish us from the other providers, and we wanted to be leading product development company here in New York City.
Well, you guys have come a long way, and I think you guys are you're pretty much there.
Yeah.
You guys are even building your own products too. You guys have data streams, right? Also in the NachoNacho marketplace.
Yes, we have a data stream, which is like email validation tool, and we are building a lot of other components to it. Uh, and we are very excited about that. We have already seen the market fit for that. We are using it heavily internally, as well as we have onboarded recently a few customers as well. And as you mentioned, we also publish it on the NachoNacho market and looking forward to its growth.
Very interesting. And where can people learn about Purelogics and inquire about your services?
Can you repeat, please?
Where can people learn more about your services and inquire about working with you guys?
Yeah, so they can visit our website, www.purelogics.com. We also have a LinkedIn page. They can follow us on that. We also started our podcast series. It's Purelogics Pulse, where we are inviting different guest industry expert from the tech side. So you guys can learn more about us, about our engineering practices, and how do we develop these best products. Uh, yeah, and we are here next to Bryant Park at 6th Avenue. If you guys wanted to visit our office, we are welcome and we can have a cup of coffee and can discuss about your potential partnership.
Sounds like I got to stop by again soon.
Yeah, definitely you are welcome to come.
Awesome. Well, Mohammed, it's always great chatting with you. We'll definitely have to catch up in person here pretty soon. We're not too far away from each other, so no excuses for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy. Nice to talk to you about all this. And yeah, let's stay in touch.
You too, bud. Thank you.
Bye.